I just heard the news that Oracle bought TikTok. So I feel like we are now days away from the inchitification of the TikTok algorithm, which has now prompted me to make a full-fledged YouTube vlog. I've been watching a lot of knitting vlogs. I think that knitting vlogs now are kind of like chuggy. I feel like they're kind of unk. I asked my brother earlier today if like there's a female equivalent to unk, and he said, no, I think it's non-binary. And I said, right. So I'm unk, chopped and unk, and I am now doing a knitting vlog. Whatever. I think that it's fun. Anyway, I have just finished my very first ever baby blanket. I have a niece and a nephew coming. I think technically they are my first cousins once removed because my cousins are having babies. I'm calling them my niece and nephew because that's too much to say. Boy cousins and brothers. I will always be on the dad side of the family, so I have to do something that kind of sets me apart. They can look at this and be like, oh my gosh, my Aunt Autumn made this for me. Like that's kind of what I'm going for. So I'm making baby blankets for both the boy and the girl that are coming in some sort of family relation to me. I've been using this book, 60 Quick Baby Knits by Cascade 220 Yarn, but I'm not using Cascade yarn. I've used Caron Cakes for both of them. Like a cotton blend, and the one I'm using now is acrylic because honestly, I think it's probably torturous to get a brand new mom something that they have to either not put in the dryer or they have to hand wash. Like I'm not doing that. That sounds evil. Sometimes I look at baby clothes and I'm like, what if I just made this in my size? Like what would happen if you just call Taylor up? Like what would happen if I just made it in my size? Some of this stuff is some very like cuter than some of the patterns that I see on the internet that are just beige. But for that blanket that I just did, I used this interlace pattern and I did the border following this. The border is just a garter stitch border. I just didn't know how to do it because I'm new to the art. And for the blanket that I'm working on now, I'm following this pattern for this like lacy blanket. So I'm really excited. I've been working on it for about 2 hours, an hour and 45 minutes. I did the gauge swatch because I've never done any kind of lace or anything like that before. And I have now done like 3 rows of the border. So my goal with this pattern is that I would like to be done in 3 weeks. And today is January 25th. So that would be around February 18th or so. My goal with knitting this year is to do patterns that teach me new technique that I haven't done before, and I've never done anything lace before. And so I think that this will be a good pattern to practice on because it is 21 repeats of doing lace for an entire blanket. That way, if I ever want to do anything lace, I already have that skill set. But also, when I was doing the gauge swatch, I did 2 of the 12 row repeats that I have to do. There's 12 rows and then you repeat the 12 rows. I was doing the second pass, it felt like I already felt like I was kind of getting into a flow state. Because it's lace, it's a whole new technique. I don't know how, because usually I knit while I'm watching TV or watching a movie or something. I might have to be a little bit more locked in on this. I haven't really thought it through. I saw this pattern and I was like, oh, that's so cute. And then I did the gauge swatch thinking, oh, I'm not gonna do that. Like it seems so complicated. And then I did the gauge swatch and I said, oh no, like that's really cute. And then I got the yarn and I said, "Oh, like it'll be a little bit striped." That's so cute. And so I kept going and now we're here making a baby blanket. By the way, like what I use to track my knitting and like all of my hobbies and stuff, it's a Google extension called Toggle Track. I like to track how many hours each project takes me, and then I put that into an Excel sheet so that I can see how much time I've been spending. One of my Q1 goals this year is to knit for 120 hours, and I have already. It's not even. It's not even February yet, and I think I just hit like 80 hours. So I might have to up my goal for Q2. I learned how to knit about a decade ago. My grandmother taught me how to knit, like many such cases. I knit a few things here and there. I taught myself again when I was 22, knit a couple things here and there. I learned how to crochet a few years ago through the library and then started knitting again in October. And I have just been, I guess, like hyper fixated on it since then. I've knit a sweater, a blanket, and a few other things, a vest, like a few other things since October. I've done maybe 4 or 5 projects. And it is, I'm still like hyper fixated on it, which doesn't happen very often. So I'm just like trying to ride the ride. I think what helps is I can sit here and watch TV. I can sit here and talk. I can sit here and do other things. And as I have gotten back into the rhythm of knitting regularly, it has become more and more second nature. Last year went on a mission to like decrease my screen time from like 10 hours a day to like 2 hours a day, and I was successful. But over the course of the year, I needed something to occupy my hands so that I wasn't like double screening. I think in a world where a lot of people's hobbies are smartphone, which there's nothing wrong with that necessarily if you're getting joy out of it, making something by hand, doing something like completely analog that like generations and generations and thousands of years have have passed down through the hands of people, like I don't know, something about it. Okay, here I am at the end of day 2. I just finished row 5 of my first 12 row repeat out of 20 12 row repeat. I did try to watch TV while I did the first row, and turns out like doing lace and watching TV kind of isn't compatible for me personally right now. I was doing the first row and I was off, like counting off by like 8. So all of it, I don't know. And then somehow I added 3 stitches to I added 3 stitches somehow. So I'm like slowly decreasing those over time. So I guess for the next few weeks, I'm about to be like analoga grande, and only focus on this at a time. I feel like a reductress article, like local woman discovers multitasking is not all it's cracked up to be. Probably should have frogged that first row, but my thinking is it's one row out of 240 rows. So if the first row is messed up, it kind of is like an intentional design choice. So I didn't frog back. The next day, after I said, "Oh, I'm not gonna frog anything. I'm just gonna keep going," and then I ended up frogging it all the way back to starting. I could have just frogged it back to the border, but on the very first row that I did all pearls, and it's a garter stitch, so it's supposed to be all knits. So it didn't look bad. You couldn't really tell, especially if you're not like a knitter or something. But I kept thinking, like, if I'm gonna go back and redo the lace part, I might as well just go back to the beginning and start all the way over. I keep thinking, like, what if in 50 years this ends up in like an American folk museum of like knitted knitwear through the 2020s? Like, what if my art is hung up? Like, I need it to be as perfect as possible. Maybe one or two mistakes because, like, that's how the soul gets out or whatever. But, like, it needs to look good. It needs to be a representative of the art of the 2020s. So I just went back and started all of it. And meanwhile, my TV project, because I cannot work on that while I'm watching TV, I have been staring at this for months. It feels like I finished it about 2 weeks ago, so it hasn't been months, but I finished it on January 10th, maybe. And I just finished doing like 6 ends, weaving in 6 ends. And so this is my other whip that I'm working on. On row 4 of the border, um, there's 17 rows on this border, but I don't have a row counter, so I'm doing the really perfectly ingenious thing of writing down all of the rows I have to do and then just marking it out with a pencil. I feel very like 1940s, like I'm knitting for my husband to come home from war. This time, because I accidentally added 3 stitches from somewhere on my first go, I have put stitch markers every 20, except for the last one has 16, so that I can keep track and make sure I'm not accidentally adding anything. That has been a big problem for me personally, is adding stitches or like just not being able to count. It's like, I think that's the hardest part of knitting, honestly, is paying attention and counting. Okay, I have weaved my final end in for this bad boy. It's so cute. It is the Cloud Vest by Alicia Plummer. It is all puff stitch into vest. You can't even tell on camera because of the pattern and because like I'm using my phone, so the camera quality isn't like high enough. But I'm so excited. I think I cast this on December 10th, so it's been about 6 weeks. I finished it on January 10th. I finished fully knitting it then, and it has taken me until today to finally weave in all of the ends. And all I need to do now is block it. It desperately needs to be washed. A few weeks ago, was drinking coffee, and because I'm like a sitcom character where anything that can go wrong does go wrong, I spilled coffee all over this. And my computer, I had to get my computer completely redone. Thank God I have Apple Care, but that's beside the point. There's a few places where you can see the coffee stain on it. Luckily, I think it will come out. And I am kind of concerned about blocking it, about fully wet blocking it, because the green in this is a hand dyed yarn. So I'm scared once I fully submerge it, it will all just be green by the end of it. I actually don't think that would be in, like the worst thing in the world if like the white parts turned slightly lighter green. Um I think it might still look cool, but I am really excited to wear this. But it is very thick. I feel like I could only wear this in Alabama right now when it is really cold as like an overshirt um over a turtleneck. I think that's how I'm going to style it once it's done. So I'm really excited. So I'm going to block this now. And that's really exciting. One whip down, one to go. I just pulled my vest out of the blocking solution. I forgot it was in there. So it's been in the water for like 3 hours. When I went in there and I looked at the water, it was light green. The whole water was light green. So I do think that the white parts of my vest are going to be slightly tinged a little bit green. That's okay as long as it's not like patchy and weird looking. I'm actually fine with that. I'm just going to sit it out to block now and wait for it to dry flat. I'm not going to pin it. It fit pretty okay. So I'm just going to lay it flat and hope that it goes back to the dimensions it was before I got it wet. Okay, now she's in her resting place for probably the next, 2 or 3 days, however long it takes her to dry. Okay, hi. It's currently Saturday night, and I have been working on just this blanket for the past few days. That is the back. I love this part in a project where you can like actually see the design of what's going to happen. It's actually going by faster, I think, than I thought it would because it is like a more intricate pattern than I have done in the past. I've been meaning to work on it more. I got off of work early on Thursday because of the snowstorm that has been happening all over the South. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna like work on this blanket, like get some good progress done. And then Bridgerton came out, and I sat there and watched it for 4 hours straight. After like the third episode, I was like, oh my God, like I haven't had water. I haven't had food. I've been watching Bridgerton this entire time. I was literally like staring at it the way that like children watch Miss Rachel. I like literally blank behind the eyes. Like I was having iPad time, and so I didn't get as much done as I wanted to on it. Anyway, I got a binder to put all of my like patterns and stuff in because I print out a lot of my patterns. So now I have like a recipe book. I hope one day when I'm like old and decrepit, someone will come across this and be like, oh my God, whoever this was like a crafting baddie back in their day. But knowing like how stuff is made and like the planned obsolescence, this binder is probably going to last 18 months, if that, with the amount of use that it gets. And then also I'm really obsessed with like knitting magazines, and I have clipped a few things. I screenshotted them from the Libby app. Like, is that illegal? Probably. So I'm gonna print those out and also put them in here. I'm really excited. I have some fun plans. I have to remind myself that I can realistically only knit about 12 things in a year. And that's kind of pushing it. That's like if I do my absolute most. So, I'm like trying to like manage my own expectations of what I actually want to get done. I think how I'm going to go about it is kind of planning for I plan most of my life around like the quarters of the year. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. I'm gonna plan 3 to 4 patterns for each quarter, and if I get done with them, then I can choose something else. But if I don't, um, then I can roll them over, or I can choose 3 new items for the next quarter. And I think that will give me like enough of a plan to if I want to buy yarn in bulk. Obviously, it is already February. And I've already done the plan for this quarter was to make these 2 baby blankets and then the sweater I'm making for my little brother. That is the plan. So I've already kind of formulated that. I've already finished 1.5 of those blankets, and then I need to start on the sweater soon. And then I also want to try and make like a granny square project, but that might be like an overarching. I don't think I'm going to get done with that before March ends, just based off of other people saying that usually a granny square project will take like 100+ hours. And I don't, with doing another sweater, I don't think that I will have time to do both 100-hour projects at the same time in a month where I also work full time. So that might be an overarching project that goes through Q2, and then I'll choose 3 more. I really want to I want to make like I have some fun plans for what I want to make, but like I love sweaters. It doesn't get cold enough to have an abundance of sweaters though. So, I have to kind of temper down like what I actually want to make and what is actually practical for the climate in which I live. What to say is that I bought a binder. I want to turn this like the front page into maybe like a collage or like a mood board for maybe 2026 of things I want to make. And then I want to fill this with, I already have some patterns that I just need to print out. And then I have some patterns that maybe I need to buy or copy from books that I have from the library. So I'll keep you posted on my binder journey. I'm like really taking this analog shit so seriously. Sounds so stupid. Today is Sunday, February 1st, and for the month of January, one of my resolutions was to like track how much time I've been spending with each hobby because I love to know things about myself like everyone else. Like I love a Wrapped. Like at the end of the year, I want to look back and be like, "Oh my god, I spent 1,000 hours knitting or whatever." My goal is for Q1, my goal is to knit 120 hours. It is currently February 1st, which means the only data I have right now is the first month of Q1. And I have already knit 96.9 hours. 97 hours of knitting, give or take. Because sometimes I forget to like press play on my tracking or whatever. So I've actually like blown myself away at this point. Like I'm Hamilton right now. Like, you'll blow us all away. Like, I'm coming of age with our young nation right now. So, this is what happens when I have decided like to go low screen. I'm like, okay, let me fill it with other things. I should probably like I have my carpal tunnel brace on because my job gives me carpal tunnel and then knitting doesn't like help the carpal tunnel. Um, but I'm addicted to it. I'm addicted to it right now. I am about to go to a like a knitting, it's like a sip and stitch. It's a like a local coffee shop or something, and I'm gonna bring this with me. But I'm kind of trepidatious. I'm a little bit nervous about bringing this with me because I have to concentrate so hard on counting that I'm gonna be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I've never met any of these people before, so it's gonna be oh, whatever. Whatever. Cloud vest is finally dry, and I have it on. I don't even know if I can back up enough for you to see it all the way. Let me adjust this angle. Try not to get the floor in there, though. Okay, you can see most of me. You can see my torso, which is all you really need to see. It is about the same fit as it was. It's a little bit tighter than it was before I blocked it, which is actually what I wanted, because when it first came off the needles, it was a little bit stretched out. So it is perfect. I'm wearing it with a little mock neck and my Levi's. I'm looking so cute. My fashion inspiration are like the 60s, 70s, and 90s. And I feel like this is like a very 70s/90s look. I held Cascade 220 in the plain Peruvian Highlands wool and Fiber Seed in the color Nessie, and I held them two together. I bought a sweater's worth of this Nessie color, so I have an entire skein left. I want to make something out of this, so I have to find a one skein pattern that is a DK weight. And then I think this will be good. Once I get to the end of the year, I'm hoping that I'll have like a few or a little bit more than a few skeins left over so that I can make kind of a scrappy sweater project. Goal this year is to kind of knit everything in. I keep saying, these are my goals. Maybe I should just sit down and say exactly what all of my goals are all at the same time. My goal is to knit kind of everything within a similar color scheme. Color scheme. So that at the end of the year, I have a really cohesive color palette to make a scrappy sweater. Maybe I'll show my color palette at another time, but it's mostly like burnt siennas, greens, like stormy blues. Like I'm autumn, I think, is my color season, which is fun. Like, so all of my yarn is kind of in that color palette. Okay, it's currently Tuesday night, and I've been working on the blanket that I've been working on for now. This iteration about 16 hours. My eyes look so glassy. I look like the vampires in Interview with the Vampire right now. Anyway, I wanted to show you. Now it's kind of starting to look like a blanket. It's really cool. You can start to see the motifs. Sorry, my finger isn't dirty. It has ink on it from work. I've washed my hands. It just doesn't come out. But it's really cool to see like these motifs that I just did with my wee little hands. I just did it all myself. Look how gorgeous that is. I can't believe I've done this. I have finished 4 of the repeating out of, it says 21. I might go to like 15 and see what it looks like then. So I'm about a fourth or a fifth of the way done, depending on what I do. And this is what it looks like. It's not really taking as much time as I thought it was going to take. In my other blanket, it's taking about the same amount of time as the other blanket took, which is crazy because this is like a lace motif. And that was just, I just knit and purled it. Okay, I'm so excited. I'm about to go get my passport photo taken. I am wearing a sweater that I knit in my passport photo. So, like, you're seeing this is going to be the photo. No glasses. Like, I'm about to mog in my passport photo in the sweater that I knit for the next 10 years. Diva. I feel divalicious right now. Okay, I'm back from like flexing on everyone at the US Postal Service and State Department by posing for my passport in my sweater that I made. And I have one more whip. Sorry, please excuse my desk. It's always like this. Um, I have one more whip that I need to get done before I can buy the yarn for my next couple of projects. And this is the flat cabled flat cap something by Lydia Hawkins Designs. This is my first time doing cables. I was trying to get done with this before Christmas. I got done with the individual parts before Christmas. I just like have not put them together. I've done 2 out of 3. So it was the top, the sides, and this were all different parts that I had to sew together. I enjoyed knitting the cables. I want to do like a full cabled shirt or something, sweater maybe, because I had a lot of fun doing that. But the putting it together has been something of a terror. I'm a pretty decent knitter when it comes to knitting and purling, but when it comes to putting things together, I have a really hard time sometimes. And I guess I'm a proficient knitter. I'm not a very good sewist. And the instructions that this hat came with, the instructions for putting it together are quite scant. You can see even on Ravelry, the things are like, I couldn't figure out how to put it together. Um, so it took a lot of trial and error. And I hate when things take trial and error that I'm not expecting to take trial and error. There is a YouTube video that I've been watching. I think I've watched it 3 times and I'm still like confused. So, anyway, but I think if I lock in, this is my last whip except for that baby blanket that I've been working on. If I lock in, I think I could probably do this in the next hour if I can figure out how to put it together. Okay, I do think I actually have it together now. Um you're supposed to knit wrong sides together. So it is underneath. I feel like Senorita Awesome in this hat. I just want a regular coffee. Those white girl pumpkin spice lattes annoy me. Senorita Awesome. Okay, I think I'm officially done with this hat. I have done the best that I can do under the circumstances. I am never doing another hat like this ever again. This hat took me 25 hours and 15 minutes to complete. The cables again are beautiful. It is a little winky wonky donkey in the front. It's a little tight on my head, but I have a big old British head. I look like I'm about to go play 18 rounds. Give me some Argyle stat. Okay, hi, it's Saturday. I have officially finished this hat. It is blocking. It did stay in the water, the blocking water for 10 hours because I put it in and then I went to dinner and I was like, oh, I'll just pull it out when I get back from dinner. Came home from dinner and fell asleep. Right. So it's currently, I saw on the internet that you could block it over a plate. So inside of it is like a little side plate. Um, I'm hoping that once it blocks, it won't look as winky wonky donkey. But honestly, the price of homemade goods is that sometimes they're a little winky wonky. That's the cost of doing business with me. And so I thought I'd just show all of the pieces that I have completed in January and the first week of February. So that hat, I finished. I started this in January and finished it in January. It is kind of a self-drafted moment. It's a baby blanket for a baby that is coming. I finished my cloud vest for I started it in December, but I finally finished all of the whips and ends and stuff. It's the cloud vest by Alicia Plummer. You can't see it, but it is fully puff stitch. And I did find a bigger cord so you can actually see. I'm about a fifth of a way done with this lace sampler baby blanket. And it's just like this really pretty swoops and stuff. I'm really impressed with how it looks, considering I had to restart it twice, 3 times. I lost count. And that's it. And then later today, I'm going to bring you along as I purchase yarn for my next 2 projects that will take me through February and March. Okay, hi, I just got back. My camera is dirty. It looks like I put Vaseline over it. I'm not sure that's much better. I don't know what's going on. Is that better? I don't know. I think it's my. There we go. That's better. Okay, I just got back from a very lovely day. I did a workshop to make hearts, like weaved hearts, and I got my palm read. And they said I'm a really powerful manifester and like full of love, and love is going to find me, and I need to be one with my passions. I also had a tarot card reading that said I'm about to go scorched earth and it's going to be a good thing. And so like I'm very like in my Daenerys Targaryen type shit right now. Anyway, so I'm trying to buy the yarn that I need to do for my granny square cardigan, sweater, whatever that I want to do. The thing is that this pattern is in fingering weight. The idea of doing a fingering weight granny square cardigan or sweater makes me want to. Anyway, I think I'm going to do it in a DK weight. Okay, I feel like ordering this yarn is like my Chekhov's gun. Like if you say you're going to order yarn, you have to order yarn before the end of the video. Okay, I am on KnitPicks. I'm trying to pull up Knitting for Olive to see what is cheaper. I'm pulling up my pattern that I have for my little brother. Here's a warning. If you're a writer and you're watching this, here's your warning to not watch it anymore because I'm going to show your birthday present. I'm going to make him this sweater. It has little fishes on it. Or fish. I don't know. The plural of fish is fish or fishes. I think it's changed. So I actually really like these colors. It's like a cream and a brown. And so I'm gonna look up how much I need. So I need 11 skeins of 50 grams. So that's 550 grams of the main color. Okay, so I need an Aran weight superwash merino. I think I'm gonna do a superwash merino because I think that's the easiest to care for. I think it's also like the easiest on the skin. Like if you're not someone who is used to wearing wool, that's like what a lot of baby yarn is made out of. They have this pretty green, it is heathered, but it's this pretty green and it's got some flecks of blue, so it might look like a fish. That might be cute. The main color, we could do like a nutmeg. It's called Nutmeg Heather. So I think I'm gonna get 12 of the main color and 6 of the other color, just in case. Oh my God, $113. Okay. I'm going to get yarn for me. Why did I say it like that? So now I'm looking for yarn for myself. I'm getting a DK weight for my granny square thing. The reason that I'm buying 2 sweater quantities of yarn, which is not something that I would normally do. I would normally just get one at a time. But because I already know these are 2 things that I'm going to use, I might as well save on the shipping and get both of them at the same time. That's like what I'm telling myself. Is this dumb? I'm kind of feeling like it's dumb right now. Okay. To buy 2 sweater quantities worth of yarn. It's feeling kind of dumb. Like I feel like I should just buy one. Oh. And then buy one for March. Okay, so it's looking like the blue that I want and the red that I want for my granny square sweater thing are out of stock. So, I think that's actually a sign from the universe that I don't need to buy 2 sweater quantities worth of yarn right now. I'm gonna buy the yarn for my little brother's sweater because it needs to get done first, like priority wise. Even if I were to start on it now, the way that the seasons work in Alabama, it's gonna be 75 degrees next week. So even if I were to start right now, it would not be done in time for cold weather. So it's going to have to be done in time for cold weather next year. But that will also give me time to like fully work out the design that I want in my head and see if I can find like a pattern for a hexagon granny square sweater, but use the pattern for this granny square instead. Okay, I think I'm going to end it here. Thank you for watching. If you watched, and yeah, like and subscribe. If you have any more things you want to see from me, let me know. I live to serve. It's one of my love languages according to my palm reading that I got today. Um, yeah. Okay, bye.